this is where the cars are unveiled. They're competing over there. There's 12 cars competing this year for that title. And I've been lucky enough to be involved with 9 cars that have won that award. And I have to thank all the people that allowed us to build those dreams and the people that are working with it. It's a great feeling of accomplishment, and even better is when you built a car for a customer and you're all in trying to get that car finished and bring it here and compete. You are so nervous because you don't want to let your customer down. And like I say, I've been lucky enough to have achieved that award for 9 customers. And I've let a few down, unfortunately, but hopefully I'll be able to do that again someday, is compete and win that award for another customer. But I feel for all of those competitors over there because there's only one winner out of 12 cars, and they've all put their heart and soul into those cars.
The Amber is, I mean, again, Amber, Riddler, people may argue one or the other, but I mean, what does it mean to win Amber? I mean, obviously nobody knows better than you, but I mean, and not just to you, but to the people that you're voting for. What does that mean? What does it signify to actually get your name on that eternal trophy?
When you ask me what it means to get your name on that eternal trophy, it goes from year to year. It's I think now that originally it was an 8-foot trophy. I think it's about 12 feet now. It's getting stacked on and names go down, but that means that you're going to be there for the entire life of this show, and wherever that award is, you're on it. The owner's name is on it. I've been involved with 9. My name is not on the trophy, but I still feel proud to have won those awards for those owners. When you ask me the difference between this or a Riddler award, that's strange, because Riddler can be any vehicle that happens to be there first time shown in Detroit. But today it's also first time shown here, where it used to be, just bring the best road you can bring. Now it's got to be first time as well. So a lot of guys used to build a car and go and compete for the Riddler award. They'd win that and then come here the next year and they'd win the Amber award. But all the magazines had already covered it, so John made it first time shown here also. So you're seeing cars for the first time at this show. And the biggest difference between the two is this is really just a pick. It's not a judged award. Where Detroit, it's based on what you did, how you did it, and how well you did it. And this award is from 50 feet, the judges are saying, I like that car. It's not based on how everything is fit and finished. It's based on what's cool.
Something kind of beautiful about that, to a degree. I mean, it's also,
yes.
Also the fit and finish part is also beautiful. So talking about the quality of the Amber cars, it seems like that bar gets moved pretty high, pretty fast as time inches on, right? I mean, how good are the cars that are contending anymore?
I have so many different answers for that question because of how it's changed.
How has it changed?
That's what I was just going to do. You asked me and talk about how the quality of these cars keeps going up and up and up and up. Well, it's different because this is a pick, and it's not necessarily based on fit and finish and how well things were done. Because there can be a car that's absolutely flawless, but the judges don't like the taillights or the bigger wheels, and they're basing it on what's traditionally loved. And you can line up a picture of all the cars that are competing, put all the judges in a room, and one judge says, I don't like the big wheels on that. So a couple of the other judges says, well, man, yeah, I guess you're right. Another judge on another car says, I don't like the headlights on that car. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. But then you look at another car that's really traditional, and it's got a beautiful paint job on it, and nobody can pick it apart because everything on it, they all agree that they like it, and it wins. It may not be the best, most beautiful car. It used to be in this award, it was based on a judging criteria, and if a car had a top and fenders, that's more work. So a car with a top and fenders always beat a car that didn't have a top and didn't have fenders. Today, you can have a car that no top, no fenders, and it's beating a car with tops and fenders, and it could be a nicer car, but it's based on beauty and what the judges would want to take home and enjoy for themselves. It's not based on what was done, how well it was done. It's just like I say, from 50 feet, we're going with that one. So it's not necessarily the fit and finish and the quality and this car that's going up and up and up, like it used to be and like it is in Detroit. This is just a pick. So there's no target on the wall. You don't know what you're going to build to compete for this award. It's very difficult as a builder to know what to do for a customer.
So that creates a very interesting scenario. So even if you're the guy who brings in the gun to the knife fight, per se, and kind of, you know, not to name names, but, you know, some others, that doesn't, you're not necessarily a shoo-in, right? Does everybody have a chance?
Well, if you go to Detroit, there's a rule book on what you need to do to compete for the Riddler Award. There is no rules here. You just bring what you build.
Well, let's talk about another, I think, kind of huge award this year, and that is you being Builder of the Decade, which is cool. I don't think there's ever been a Builder of the Decade. I think it's only been Builders of the Year. If I don't realize there should be a guy. Congratulations. You don't deserve it more. What kind of an honor is that? And more than anything, just what kind of honor is that? I mean, finding out that you're being recognized as such.
When you ask me about being Builder of the Decade, it is truly an honor. And what I would say about that is the fact that growing up with my father, who just recently passed, I spent my entire life trying to make my father proud of what I can do. And I want to take this moment to thank every one of you that has helped me to make my hero proud. And I know that this would have been a moment that would have made me very proud. I'm extremely proud. I'm proud of all the guys at Foose Design that helped me to get all these cars done. I'm proud of all the owners that allowed me to build their dream, or us to build their dream. But when John called me, and he says, John Buck, who owns the show, he says, hey, I owe you an apology. I said, why do you owe me an apology? He says, I always assumed that you had been Builder of the Year with either Dan Sear or Don Tognati, who were the previous owners of this show. And I said, no, I have never been. And he says, well, I apologize for not having you. He says, it's been way overdue. He says, but what I want to do is honor you, not as Builder of the Year, but Builder of the Decade, and you'll be the first one to ever get that honor because we've never done it before. And yeah, it made me feel very nice that he wanted to do that for us. And he brought 12 cars that represent some of the best cars that we've ever built. And what I told John is, I said, let me make some phone calls, see if I can get some cars together. He was giving me a space for 10 cars, 100 feet by 20 feet. I brought 12 because I was going to have 2 out at my trailer. But when we got here and we started pulling all the cars in, I thought, we can kind of push them together and get all 12 in here. So that's what we did. I'm proud to be here today. It's truly an honor, and just glad to be a part of the show.
So I was very glad that you're a part of it. Your dad was on. For fun, just a real quick rundown. If there's any cars particularly, I mean, I could talk for hours about each one of them, but pick 3. Pick 3 that you want us to kind of showcase that you're like, I know it's impossible. One of them being Madam Max, because that car's not. Are there any? 0032 is an Amber winner.
Yes. So is Impression.
So is Impression.
Magnitude was beaten twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Never mind. What are you talking
Very
about?
traditional car.
Never mind.
with a motor that wasn't even deburred.
Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You brought a couple Amber cars. Let's go that direction. So there's one fun thing you brought a lot of representations of your work with a couple Amber cars as well.
When you tell me to pick 3 cars from this to talk about, you know, I could talk for hours about all these cars, and you know, it's fun when I look at each of these cars. I remember a time that, you know, there was a group of us that came together to build the absolute best car that we could build for each customer, and I could talk about that time with each car. But if I pick 3, you know, there's one vehicle in here that means the most to me, and I'm going to talk about my '56 Ford pickup. First car I ever owned. I bought that from my father when I was 14 years old. I found one sitting back here. And I had done drawings of what I wanted to build when I started my shop. And Bud Brutzman, the producer of Overhaul, he stole my drawings, duplicated them, put them back, and then they stole my truck. But the coolest thing that Bud did is he asked my father to run a team, and they overhauled me, which I never thought that was going to happen. When my truck was stolen, I was heartbroken. Because when you own a car, from the time I was 14 years old, I think I was in my mid-40s when they took it. And that car was a member of the family. And that member had left. When we went to SEMA and they unveiled it in the Roush booth, and the curtain dropped and my dad was standing in front of me, I noticed all the proportions first. They had changed it to what I had drawn and what I wanted. And I lost it. And I turned to my dad. When I saw my dad, I said, "Is this mine?" He just shook his head, yes. Because my father ran that team, I don't only have my first vehicle back, I have a piece of my father's artwork and the team that built that for me. So that one is the most dear to my heart. And I'm really proud to have that back and here today. If I were going to pick other cars, the Grand Master that we built for Wes Rydell, that car when we did it, Wes Rydell is a guy that you want to absolutely build your absolute best for. And when we were building that car, I was worried that we were spending a lot of money, spending a lot of time, we were fixing things and making little changes. And Wes says, "Don't worry about it, just build your best." And we kept building and building and building. And then when we were really close to finished, he said, "Why don't we take it to Detroit and compete for the Riddler?" Which we did, and we won the 50th anniversary of the Riddler Award with the Grand Master. And at that time, I think that was the car that best represented what we could do at Foose Design. And worked with Wes Rydell and Doug Peterson, Marcel and Luke DeLay, and all the guys from my shop. That represents an amazing piece of history for Foose Design and all of us that worked on it. And if I were to pick one other car, it would be the Impression at the other end that we built for Ken Reister. And that car started from absolutely nothing. I built a quarter-scale clay model. We pulled sections from it. We built a buck. I took that out to Marcel's. We hand-built the steel body. We brought that back to the shop. We had built the complete chassis, all the A-arms, absolutely every single piece other than the motor, transmission, and the center section for the rear end. And I think that car best represents what could possibly be done in this industry with our hands. And we won the 2005 Grand National Roadster Show, the Amber Award with that one. In 2004, we won the Riddler Award. I'm very proud to have that car in this display. So there's three. There's also the Amber winner right behind it, 0032, which was originally the Boydster 2. And before it was the Boydster 2, it was going to be called the Chipster, because we had built the Boydster at Boyd's. And I did a drawing. I wanted to build a car for myself, so I was going to do a full-fendered version of the Boydster. And Boyd said, "We'll call that one the Chipster." So there's Boydster, now we're going to do the Chipster. While I was building it, one of our customers wanted it, and Boyd asked me if I would give it up. So I did. Gave it up to Buzz DeVasta, went out to Marcel's and hand-built that entire body with the Marcel's, and or with the delays. Brought it back into the shop, and when Boyd saw it, he said, "I want that car, do something else for Buzz." So I designed a 34 for Buzz DeVasta, which also won the Amber, and I forget what year, but was finished by Barry White. But when we brought that car back in, and Boyd said he wanted to do it yellow with the yellow interior, so that's how we finished it. We took it to the Grand National Roadster Show in '97, but we didn't compete. We actually just had it there on display only because Tom Gale, who's the president of Chrysler Corporation, the design group, he was bringing his own car, and he was a friend of both Boyd and I. We didn't want to compete against him, so we went display only and allowed him to compete. And after Boyd's had gone bankrupt in '98, Chuck Spados, who bought the car out of New York, called me and says, "Hey, I've got the Boydster too, and I understand this was originally your car." And I said, "Yes, it was." And he says, "Is it everything you wanted it to be?" And I said, "Well, it's a great car, but I originally was going to do it black with a little bikini top, and I wanted to do a five-spoke American-looking wheel with a real knockoff." He says, "What would you charge me to build it like that?" I said, No, don't change that car. It's got history." I said, "Leave it alone, and why don't we just build you a new one?" He says, "No, I want to do it to this one. How much?" Gave him a price. He sent it to me, and we started doing the work. And 4 days before the Grand National Roadster Show, I was just working on the car thinking, we could finish this and take it to Amber Award. So I called Dan Sear, who owned the show at the time, and I said, "Can I bring a car and compete for Amber Award?" He goes, sure. So I called Steve Mole, who had a display for me to borrow, because I didn't have anything. We were just building at the shop. Steve Mole says, yeah, I'll bring a display for you to put around the car. I didn't have any carpet. So being in Southern California, I called Roy, who's up in Northern California, where the show was then, and I said, hey, do you have a piece of carpet that I could borrow? He said, well, yeah. He says, I'll bring a piece of carpet. So the three of us brought all our stuff. We competed and we won in the year 2000 with the 0032, and we won the Amber Award. I went to dinner with Chuck Spados that night. We were at Denny's, or I should say breakfast, at 4 in the morning when the car had just won. He says, what else are you building at the shop? At the time, I had a 3-window coupe that I was building to be the sister of that car. And he says, oh, you have a coupe? He says, I always loved the coupes. He says, I'll give you the Roadster if I can have the coupe. I said, well, it's about 5 years out because I've got to finish. It was Ron Whiteside's Stallion that we're building, a 34 Ford 3-window coupe. And I've got to finish impression before we can do your coupe. He says, don't worry about it. He sent me the title of the car and said, one day, whenever you get the coupe done, that's my car. And without Chuck, there wouldn't be a Foose design here, because right after I got the title, I was renting space in the shop, and the owner of the shop came over to me and he says, hey, the building's sold, so we got to move. Now, I didn't have 2 dimes to rub together, and I'm thinking, I don't have enough money to even move out of here. So I said, what's the real estate agent's name? He gave me his name, and I called him up, and I made him an offer on the building a little higher than the other offer. And got into a bidding war. But like I say, I didn't have any money, so I put the coupe, or put the 0032 up at the Monterey RM auction, and sold the car that weekend. Got $250,000, put $150,000 in the bank, and put $100,000 down on the building, and that's how we ended up having Foose Design. So on all of our signs that we do for the Team Foose, which is one sitting right next to me, the name Chuck Spados is on every one of those signs, because without Chuck, there wouldn't be a Foose Design today. So thank you, Chuck, for your contribution and your generosity. He got his coupe later, but we ended up selling that and went to the Peterson Museum, where it sits next to the Roadster. There's a lot of cars. I can tell stories about all of them.
Right.
I told you more than 3, but we're going to end there.
We're going to end there. Do you remember what your dad said when the curtain dropped?
Is that what he said? No, I was in a...
I didn't think you remember. No, it's the first thing you said.
At SEMA, when the curtain dropped, I don't remember exactly what my dad said, other than shaking his head, yes, it's yours.
Right.
But yeah, he did say, yeah, she's back. But, you know, it's funny, it was about 5 months after the truck had been stolen. I was driving on the freeway one day, and I was actually crying about the truck being gone. And I called my dad just to express my emotions, because it was his truck before it was mine. And I was talking to him about the truck and then hung up. I didn't realize that he was working on the truck as we had the conversation. He stopped and talked to me, but he was with it. That's a pretty cool thing for me. It's a great memory.
2 other questions. We're going to end this one. The P32. Switching things back to a Brookfield here for just a second. So you do have a Brookfield car that's obviously in your display. That's the only Brookfield car that's in here, right? The P32?
Yes, it is.
It is, okay. Tell me about, you do have a Brookfield car in your display. Can you set that up and tell me what it is?
Do you want to move over to it?
Sure. Let's do that.
Do you want me to say it? Here, I'll take you over to my Brookfield.
No, we'll just walk over.
Matthew. Yeah, they worked on these in milligrams way back in the day. Yeah, help them wire. Yeah. Well, awesome.
Jeff, your 3 wires.
Yeah, hopefully you won't see that. You push truck stop out of the dash. Yep. Hold up. He's explaining it to this car, so give it a mic.
I'm doing Facebook Live.
Two more questions, sorry. Sorry, Dave.
Same trip.
Same exact thing. So we need to shoot.
My friend Carly, she's got a hot rod in this show. She's on Facebook Live.
Yeah, Facebook Live.
Yeah, there it is, right there. You rock, Carly.
Well, Kenny and I'm gonna have to get you. These guys are. Oh my god. Yeah, sure. Sure.
You want to just take a quick, same shot, basically.
Getting some behind the scenes action.
Okay, because I can't. I gotta back up if you want the whole car. You want the whole car in there?
We'll come back and shoot the shit out of the car. Don't worry about it. As long as you have a piece of the car, it's
Here,
fine.
take a look.
Yeah, dude, it's good. Yeah. And that's cool because his truck's behind it too, so it's perfect. Yeah, it's funny because the impression is where I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It was that time. I don't know if it was that epic.
Right around there. It was definitely right there.
It was that season, sure.
Did you go to Detroit?
No.
So when they were judging the car, and I got to get embedded with the Riddler guys, and I knew he won before he did. Guess my tongue.
Yeah, right?
That was the coolest thing. That was funny, man. Like the rest of the day, I was just like,
Did we do Grandmaster as part of the show? Was there a show?
nothing. I didn't. I was still doing overhaul.
Obviously, I know the overhaul. That would be good. GNRS is good for sure. Definitely shot something with Grandmaster. I'm not sure what.
That was fun. I never thought I could not go overhaul.
Everybody in mine, Robert Wong. He's got the raw rod. There's Robert on Dano Vision. What up, bro? What's going on? I get lucky. That's Carly. She got that hot rod right there. She might be going across the stage tonight. We'll get her covered. She's Facebook Live right now. She's gonna probably tag me on that later.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I don't know if he's going to be great at it, sure. Yeah, cool if he's ready.
Okay. You're good?
So, yep.
All right. You're good? All right. So, let's go to the sound. Cameron, you got a Tailsing? All right. So, not that you know anymore because it's come a ways, but this started as a Brookville body. Can you tell me the story of that? Kenny's right behind you. Take it away, wherever you want to go with it. Anytime.
Yeah, how I want to say it. Now we were already talking about a couple of Phaetons that were built by Brookville. This is my first Phaeton.
And just go and just tell me. Forget about my camera. Just tell me the story. And you don't even have to set that up because this may stand alone.
Okay.
Was this your first Brookville build?
Yes.
So this is my first Brookville build. Anytime.
Now this is my first Brookville body that I ever owned. And this was built by Eric Hansen, Scandinavian Street Rods, where he built over 108 of the Brookville bodies. So not only has Brookville built cars to make people's dreams come true, but they built parts that have made people's complete careers. Eric made a lot of money putting together the parts from Brookville and being able to sell those bodies. So I bought the body from Eric. He actually stretched the doors 2 inches because I wanted a longer door and did the 36 cowl on it and then started the chassis for me. I got the car back to my shop. I pulled the rear section of the frame up 6.5 inches to get the car as low as I wanted. Redesigned all the front, built the whole cross member up there, lifted the cross members to get the motor up, and lifted the floor of the car 4 inches. But the whole thing behind this car is one of a World War II fighter pilot missed his B-40 Warbird back in the late 40s and built a roadster around that theme. So I had this idea back in the 90s when I was at Boyd's. I kind of did a loose sketch and talked to Boyd about it. Boyd wasn't too keen on the idea. He just wanted to do things that looked really futuristic. But I love all eras of hot rod. And this is, to me, where it all started. Back right after the war, when all these guys that got out of the military had training in how to make things go fast, they started building cars to go fast and race on the lake beds. So I went right back to that area. This was the first car that we built right after aggression, where we took what I thought the industry was to the pinnacle. We did the absolute best we could do. I didn't want to stress the guys out of the shop and building another car that we were worried about every single detail. This was just pure fun and functional. And it was all about just building something that we could go fight with. So P-32 Street Fighter, it's an absolute blast to drive. It's got a Lincoln Zephyr V12 flathead in it, which is like a scaled down Berlin motor that would have been in the aircraft. We brought the 4 pipes that come out of the V12 because 2 of the pistons Siamese into a single, shall we say, exhaust pipe. So there's only 4 on the side of 6. And brought those up into a funnel-shaped exhaust port and then made all the tips to look like the aircraft. And what we did is we plate modeled the body from the firewall forward using a Brookville 32 grill shell. Went ahead and plate modeled the top of that, the whole nose cone. Pulled a mold off of the nose cone, sent that back to my friends at Quality Metalcraft in Detroit. They stamped the nose cone. Marcel's Custom Metal, Luke and Marcel made all the aluminum parts. We brought those back to the shop, fit them back to the car, finished the car up, went out to the Lions Air Museum in Orange County and talked to them about getting some old parts of the B-17 bomber that they have sitting there. Told them I was looking for some seats, and Ron from there walked me out back. They had a container. He opens the door and he pulls out one of these seats, sets it on the floor. That's the original upholstery that was on that seat. He says, I got another one here somewhere. He walks to the front of the container, brings it out, and puts the pair of seats sitting on the floor. I was like, wow. I said, are they for sale? He said, yeah. How much? $100. A piece? No, for both of them. Holy smokes, I couldn't get that $100 to pay him fast enough. Brought those back to the shop. And then Merv Atkins from Pomona right here. He's the one that had all the Lincoln parts. He had a shop that was nothing but all Lincoln Zephyr parts. So I bought all the little detailed stuff, was the emblem on the front, the dash, all the knobs, the steering wheel, all original Lincoln parts. Like I say, I wanted nothing newer than about 1948 on this vehicle. And we finished it. And like I say, this was purely fun. That's what this hot rodding is all about. Just having a good time, building fun stuff.
All right, guys, let's give Chip his life back. What's else? Ready, cut?
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay. Okay. We're good. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I gotta get out of here.
All right.
That's fine.
That's cool. There you have it. Dano Live, Dano Vision. Got caught up in the action. You're hearing it unedited. Hope you enjoy it.